Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week. The ocean is still full of peculiar things that we haven't been able to identify yet. But not only are the seas teeming with mysteries, but so are many lakes and waterways. All such bodies of water contain unknown sounds and secretive life. Every time researchers discover something new, they find themselves full of questions that must be answered. Indeed, the deep sea is full of abnormalities, and we're going to talk about 10 of them right now. Number 10. Gulf of Khambhat discovery. Oceanographers from India's National Institute of Ocean Technology tracked down one of the latest disclosures in India's Gulf of Cambay. As stated by BBC News, these scientists were directing a review on contamination. However, things took a turn when they found various constructions at the lower part of the ocean. This disclosure could show an old development, originating before the most established settlement seen so far by exactly 5,000 years. Prior to ongoing disclosures, archaeologists generally accepted that such settlements didn't exist before 5,500 BCE. So, the revelation of the old vestiges in the Gulf of Cambay places this conviction into question. Being more than 9,000 years of age, the Gulf of Cambay remains were found 36.5 meters or 120 feet submerged, a few scientists say. In any case, in light of the fact that the antiquities were brought up rather than archaeologically unearthed, discussion has surfaced with respect to the find. Number 9. Baikal Lake. The Baikal Lake, situated in the northern part of Siberia, Russia, is one of the oldest in the world, known to be 25 million years old. Numerous mysteries compass this lake, including a danger critter the native people called lucid Khan, which translates as water dragon master. Beforehand, Chinese explorers and also new fishers have reported sightings of this ocean critter. Alongside that, one stone slab exists that dates back to the 3rd and 9th century BCE, portraying the mysterious water critter. Number 8. Cuba's underwater city. In his book, Underworld: The Mysterious Origins of Civilization, Graham Hancock looks at the various designs that have been found submerged all throughout the planet. The majority of the destinations that Hancock examines lay under 120 meters or 395 feet underneath ocean level, which actually shocks no one since ocean levels never fell beneath this limit during the time Homo sapiens were known to roam the Earth. Lower than 700 meters or 2,300 feet submerged, Paulina Zalitsky and Paul Weinzweig discovered the Cuban city while on their joint Cuban-Canadian research project. Paulina Zalitsky and Paul Weinzweig discovered the Cuban city while on their joint Cuban-Canadian research project. In Hancock's own words, he stated that never had anyone in this world thought there'd be a city 700 meters under the ocean level, except if it was due to some natural occasion rather than by rising ocean levels. Number 7. Upsweep. The upsweep is an occasional sound recorded via independent hydrophones in the Pacific Ocean. It was first heard in 1991 by the Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory. The cause and the beginning point of this submerged sound still remains a secret, a true mystery for researchers. There's always been sounds traversing the globe and endless amounts recorded. Sounds from mountains, sounds from seas, and surprisingly, sounds from space. However, there are some things that even science can't clarify, and the upsweep sound is one perfect example of such a thing. From 1991, a long train of limited band upswept sounds that lasted a few seconds have been recorded from the Pacific Ocean. The sound level reaches their peak in the fall and spring. Some of the time it seemed like an unfulfilled ominous space sound. Even to this day, researchers still don't know whether the sound is continuing in some place where technology can't pick it up. It's just strange and obscure. Number 6. 4 submarine disappearances of 1968. INS Dakar was an Israeli T-class submarine. In the year 1943, the submarine was deployed and served in the British Naval Force as HMS Totem. In 1965, it was bought by Israel. Subsequent to finishing ocean and jumping preliminaries in Scotland, Dakar was scheduled to make an appearance at an invitational service in Israel on January 29, 1968. The sub showed up in Gibraltar on January 15, detailed its area as only east of Crete on January 24, and sent its last message soon after on 12 p.m. on January 25. At the point when it was clear the sub was missing, ships from Britain, Greece, Turkey, Lebanon, and Israel comprehensively, thoroughly scanned the region. But sadly, all their efforts were fruitless. The hunt effectively finished February 4, yet the 69-man group was not formally proclaimed dead until 1981. In 1991, the remainder of the submarine was at long last found among Crete and Cyprus, approximately 2,987 meters or 9,799 feet submerged. The reason for Dakar's sinking still to this date remains unknown to us. Number 5. Undersea streams. How can there be a waterway streaming under the ocean. Whatever water is there, it must flow in a water body at some point. Indeed, a few waterways do purge into oceans and other huge water bodies. Others just simply continue going for quite a long time prior to getting connected to the sea. Very much like your regular waterways, these ocean bottom streams have banks, rapids, and floodplains. Fundamentally, all the stuff you'd expect of a stream. What's more, they're not some little irrelevant surges of water. Some undersea streams are actually way greater than the vast majority of the land waterways we see. Other undersea streams have been found in the Amazon basin, Bengal in India, Greenland, and the Congo. Who knows if there are more? Yet, even though we keep learning more and more about how fascinating undersea waterways are, few people seem curious or care about them at all. They're exceptionally unusual and will generally be very fast-flowing, so trying to slide straight into them is probably not a very smart idea. Number 4. The bloop. The distinctly non-spooky epithet for this sound does basically nothing to cast a light on the secret encompassing it. In 1997, NOAA hydrophones picked up maybe the most violent sound at any point recorded off the southern ocean front of South America. The bloop, which is honestly a funny name, was recorded by two hydrophones situated quite a vast distance apart. To this day, there's been many attempts to study the sound, but its volume is too inconceivable to have been made by any known ocean creature. Remote ocean beasts aside, NOAA holds the most probable explanation for the bloop. It was ice in the distance breaking. These ice quakes are recorded within Scotia. However, as indicated by NOAA, it would have probably been drifting between the Bransfield Strait and the Ross Sea of Antarctica if a breaking knob of ice were the source. And even to this day, the bloop is consistent with the features, duration, and frequency of an ice quake as stated by the NOAA. Number 3. The lost locomotives. All of us have heard stories about train graveyards, yet have you at any point heard about the underwater train graveyard? In the 1850s, 2 trains were lost, which were subsequently found in 1985 by Captain Paul Helper, while filtering the sea depths in his vessel. These trains were the Uncommon Planet Class 222T models. It was a model that was created for an exceptionally brief time frame due to the grievous reality that they were outdated very soon after their production. What actually stays a secret to this day is the manner by which these trains wound up in the sea. No authentic evidence exists of the production of these 2 trains. History specialists accept that the records that contain the data about the engines may have been obliterated or lost, or maybe the information never existed. In any case, a few history specialists assume the trains were lost during the course of transportation. Number 2. Bimini Road. In 1968, a jumper off the shore of North Bimini Island, Bahamas, found a progression of stones 5.5 meters or 18 feet beneath the surface. The stones, according to them, seemed like they had been carved by humans and were equitably scattered in a street-like line extending a near kilometer or a half mile. This information went public very soon after. People had different guesses about whether the stones were a part of walls or a street that had once been an essential vein for a bigger city. Everybody trusted the disclosed information regarding the stones would reveal an association with Atlantis, and the revelation of 2 other comparable streets added more confidence to this guess. However, in the end, with more analysis, it was found that the streets were made normally through natural forces. No marks were found that showed the creation of the blocks were shaped by tools, and there was no proof that the blocks had, at any point, been stacked to assemble a design. Despite the fact that there is still some hypothesis and exploration going on with Bimini today, it is, for the most part, settled upon that the limestone blocks were framed by erosion, leaving the secret of Atlantis to another day. Number 1. The disappearing island of Bermeja. For many years, the island of Bermeja could easily be found in the Gulf of Mexico, close to the Yucatan Peninsula, but now it will be very shocking for you to learn that presently all that is found in that area is water, proposing the island vanished into thin air, without anybody knowing where it truly went. At the point when Mexican authorities investigated the area of the island, they observed no proof that it had ever existed, making the situation even more confusing, as the old guides had said the island had existed. Numerous hypotheses exist about the island's existence, including an involvement that the CIA made it disappear, or that it never existed to begin with. That is all for today's video. Thank you all for watching. While you're here, go ahead and click on one of these 2 videos on your screen. See you there!